Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Hey, welcome to this episode of the Note Closure Show. As always, Scott Carson, excited to be here with you today. Hopefully you had a great weekend. It is Monday. And I thought I would spend a little bit of time today with you guys talking about money on Monday. You heard me talk about last week how I really had a great time at FinCon, met with some great people. We've got some great interviews that are coming out for the podcast. What I didn't talk is something I was kind of blown away with as well on the opposite direction. And it's something that we've talked about here on the Note Closure Show and Note Night in America before. We talk about this through our 3-day class, which I'm always amazed at how people don't get this or don't understand it or haven't tapped into this resource like we have. And some of you guys have done a great job of starting to tap into it as well with your marketing and starting to share and reach out to people. Now, what am I talking about? It's how to find IRA investors. I talked with two people, one a hard money lender in literally, she's out of St. Louis. I've known her for a little while. It was great to finally meet her in person, but she does a lot of foreclosures, doing a lot of, and we were talking there and I said, what are you working on? And she's like, well, I'm really trying to tap in a way to find find IRA investors. I'm like, oh, I can show you how to do that. She says, you can. I'm like, yeah, it's not that hard. And she goes, what do you mean by that? I say, it's literally all right there at the county records for you. And she's like, oh, no, it can't be that easy. I'm like, oh, my God, yes, it is. Now, she was doing it a little bit more difficult in that she was literally trying to do it for the entire country. And I was like, well, that's great. I mean, you can go out and buy a list of IRA investors, people that have an IRA, generic. That's going to cost you a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not $1 million to do it all across the country. But it's not going to be as direct as you want to be. And we got to talking about self-directed IRA investors. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's great. But I was like, listen, how much are you trying to raise? Well, I don't need that much. I said, well, you don't need that many IRA investors. So I literally, on her tablet, Mindy, I love you. We sat down and I went through her county there in St. Louis County, in St. Louis City, which you would if you pull that in Missouri. And I showed her literally how to pull 400 IRA investors in 5 minutes with their contact information as far as their mailing address. And if they've got their name, their full name on it, says account number, how to go in and reverse address search that through like white pages of Spokio to find the individual primary address, or also search it. Showed basically kind of the skip tracing aspect of things through LinkedIn and other things like that. And she was absolutely blown away. I actually sat down with another investor out of Georgia, out of Atlanta, and we did the same thing too for him. And he was blown away. And here's the thing. I know a lot of us get excited about where we're buying it locally. And I get it if you're in an area that you can't search locally, like Minnesota or Maryland or Virginia or the communist state of California. I get it. That can be frustrating. But for the most part, you guys are going to be buying notes in a variety of different areas. Distressed debt. Or if you're doing real estate in one area, and you can actually search for people's names or owners, local county records. We're talking, this is a river of private money that you have at your fingertips if you'll do a little bit of work. Okay. Yeah, so the reverse address SK says, how could you possibly demo that online? The reverse lookup aspect. Yeah, it's not that hard at all. All right, so let's do this. Let's just do, somebody asked, let's dive in and pull a list and we'll kind of walk you through it a little bit there. It's not that difficult. Honestly, once you see it once, you just got to kind of think outside the box a little bit. Okay, let's do this. Let's go to, so where's the search you're going to go to? You're going to first go to the website that we use all the time is NETR Online. Netra Online, it's, that's one of the best places to find public records, okay? And you're going to go down where it says public records. You're going to hit the online directory. And let's just go ahead and let's just pick Texas. Let's just pick a random state here. Let's just say Texas. Let's just do the Harris County because it's the biggest county out there, okay? And we're just going to the appraisal district. We're going to click here, appraisal district, and it's going to take us over here to a property search. And we're just going to type in, since it's Houston, you can type in Equity Trust, or we could type in Quest. We're going to type in Quest IRA. Our Quest Trust Company pops up, and we can do a couple of things. Okay, so Quest Trust Company. And it looks like it gave us one there. Okay. And it says the mailing address is 7. So this is just Quest Trust Company. This is pretty generic. And the address is 22842 Millgate Drive. So this, let's see here, as we look in this Quest. Okay, so the owner, they bought this, whoever bought this back in August 25th of 2022. All right. So let's go and make sure you guys can see my, all right. So you can see I'm in Netra Online here. Yep. Let's do one other thing. Let's just type in Quest Trust and hit search over here. So it should give us, there we go. That's better. Yeah, that's better versus one property. It gives a bunch. Okay. So let's just click on one of these. The idea here is to find a mailing address that's not going to Park Row, 17171, which is Quest mailing address. Okay. And also to find somebody that's got their name attached to it, not just an account number. If you just have an account number and it gives you Quest as the mail address, well, guess what? You can't really reverse search it. You're going to want to go ahead and send that anyway to Quest, the letter or postcard, because Quest or whoever the IRA company should be scanning it and sending it to their client, okay, through an internal email. So let's click on one here. Let's look at the separate one. So property search here, 307 D Haven. See Park Road, sweet. That's the same thing. All right, let's go back to the list. Just do a little bit more. There should be a next one on here. Okay, so this one. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. Here's one that works. Okay. All right, it is labeled Quest Trust Company for the FBO, Annette Clarabout Roth IRA. Now, the mailing address says 1717 Park Row Street. Okay, that's fine. That's the mailing address to Quest. Now, let's take her name, though. Not FBO, but Annette Clarabout. And copy it. Now, what we're going to do in another, we're going to jump on another website, another link here. And let's see what she owns in Harris County. So I'm clicking over on here on the website, back to Netra Online, appraisal district in Harris County. Okay, I want to make sure you guys can see my screen, the second screen for that. All right. So we're going to type in. So we're going to take the Clara, we're going to do Clarabout first. And now we see by just typing in Clarabout, we see Annette owns another property. And of course, she has the one we looked at, the FBO. But this one, Clarabout Annette, now we have her mailing address. Her actual mailing address, this is probably her homestead. It's a different property she owns. So you can see, okay, now this is another investment property, 3107 Jewel Street. It's not in her IRA. It's now in her mailing address at 5355 Little John Lane, Katy, Texas. Okay, now that's where we would want to send a postcard or a letter to her. All right. Now we know she's in Katy, Texas. So we could do, so we have Annette Clarabout. We could go over to LinkedIn and type her name in there and see if she pops up in Katy, Texas. And there she is. She is either a Annette Clarabout, business owner at Pro Street Performance, or bookkeeper at Tidy Bookkeeper. Well, let's look here. This is one connection. Let's go back to the other one, see if it's the same one. It's the same lady. Okay. Oh, and she part of Pro Street Performance. Okay. Let's see if there's any contact information. A website. Nope. Just her direct. Now, sending a message to LinkedIn isn't going to be effective. She's got one contact. But we could do this, Pro Street Performance. Katy, Texas. And basically, there you go. It's out of boom, boom, boom. Pro Street Performance. Does she have, let's see here, Cypress, Texas. That's close to Katy, Texas. Pro Street Performance. Now we have, it's an automotive repair shop. Could we send a message to there? Yeah, you could. Let's see if there's a phone number here. Pro Street Performance. Cypress, Texas, 863. There we go. And now we have an email, prostreetperformance.repair@gmail.com. A lot of the same photos and images they have on their Instagram. So there you go. You found a phone number, you found an email address. You could reach out to them and say, hey, I'm looking for, what's her name? Annette Clairbutt. And then just touch it. Now, here's the thing. Reaching out to them and you don't have any other, how should we say this, online assets will make it difficult. This is why you need to have a website. A website doesn't need to be anything fancy. It could be a one-page landing page. You can have something that shows what you are and who you are, your background. Hey, I came across the part of the conversation is not to say, hey, once you get her on the phone or an email to her, say, hey, I'm looking for Annette Clairbutt. I came across the public record that I think you're the right Annette that used your IRA to buy a piece of property in Houston, Texas. Are you looking for more deals? I'd love to talk with you. We're local, we're real estate investors that buy in that area or invest in that area and are always looking to connect with more real estate investors who are looking to fund deals or put their lazy assets to work. And that's the process. One of the things that we like to do is include a couple case studies. One of the things we like to do is include an executive summary. Because if you're kind of doing that cold outreach, you've got to build some rapport by showing that, hey, you know what the heck you're doing. You just can't send a letter and you not have a LinkedIn profile. You gotta update your profile to look like you know what the heck you're doing. You add a little rapport online, show that you got some experience. Now, it doesn't need to be like, oh, I've closed a million notes. Just that you're a real estate investor, that you've closed some deals, sharing some case studies, that you actually have a heartbeat. All right. That's the biggest thing that most people struggle with. Like, oh, I got to do all this other work. Look, you create a website and executive summary is not a lot of work. These are things that you're going to use over and over and over again, and it adds your credibility. Posting a picture of a video or a property that you're doing shows that you've got credibility, right? Having a pitch deck video, not 5 minutes, but at least 5 minutes, but usually 10-minute video about who you are and what you're doing, where that people can go watch that answers the questions. Not only is that comforting that they can check you out without you being on the phone and looking for a yes or no answer right there, reaching out to people and say, hey, just came across information online. Do you know if you're looking to do some more deals? I'd love to chat with you. I'd love to talk with you. If you are, considering. And here's the thing. And the reason we're talking about this right now, I know it's November, okay? Here's what's going to happen right now. People are already starting to get their statements, right? The retirement statements, their 401k statements for the Q3. We're in Q4 now, all right? And yes, a lot of people will bog down and wait till I'll start doing it next year. If you decide to wait till next year to start doing your executive summary, your pitch deck, you're a quarter behind the ball game. Because here's the thing. The reason you want to take the time to fill this stuff out and spend time in updating this is because it's valuable to you. Because here's what's going to happen come January 1st. January, February, March, those are the 3 months that you can raise the most amount of capital. Why? Because people want to do things differently first of the year. New Year's resolutions. They start going to local real estate investment clubs. They're like, I'm going to go be a real estate investor. Well, if you wait to do these things come next year, guess what? You're starting that, you're not going to have any experience. Those people that have spent time working on things already, guess what? They're already ahead of you. They're already reaching out to people to make things happen. Like, okay, I have to give the SK. I see you on here live. You need to start doing the things that we told you to do a month ago and during the class. I love you, but you've not updated your LinkedIn profile at all. Okay. You need to put one of the most important things is that people are going to go to LinkedIn to find you, everybody. So updating your profile photo with a nice headshot where you're smiling is one of the most important things. I have to give our buddy Antron a few months ago. He had a headshot on there, but he wasn't smiling. He was looking all pissed off. Nobody works with vinegar. All right. Work with honey. They work with a smiling photo. Take time to create an image for your banner so people can see your banner. Here's the thing, you can't half-ass this. All right. Half-assing it makes you worthless. Okay. Putting note buyer in your profile is one of the bare minimum things you can do, but it doesn't add any credibility. It doesn't add anything to your aspect. You have to start marketing, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody out here needs to start marketing. I got to give a big shout out to Dale, who's doing a tremendous job of some short videos, breaking down some deals and stuff like that. And Dale's out of Minnesota, and he's actually pulling IRA investors from different states and using it to start targeting those to raise capital for some projects. Don't half-ass it. Put a good photo, because that's what most people are going to see is, hey, does this person look trustworthy? If you don't have a background image, you're not really looking like you're professional. That's like showing up to a shop looking for a pizza joint that has no shop. Well, guess what? They're going to find the Domino's Pizza or the Pizza Hut or the Mr. Gaddy's because they can see their signage. They can't see your signage if you don't have anything. All right. And the thing is, too, ladies and gentlemen, we all have to get in the process of starting to post. All right. When I see somebody who has no posts except for one post in the last 3 months, it tells me you're not serious, or that you don't have anything after that except for 2 years. It means you're not coachable. And if you want to raise capital, ladies and gentlemen, you got to be coachable. You have to start doing the actions. These things are not difficult to raise capital, but they are if you don't ever do them. People are not going to magically just show up with a bag full of cash. I mean, if you find a rainbow and the leprechauns at the back with a pot of gold, hey, get my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Good for you. Don't think that's going to happen. All right. But that end of the rainbow comes January, February, March. This is the time now for you to start taking action. Start pulling lists of IRA investors. Start targeting them. But targeting them isn't going to do you any good if you've not built your home base. If you don't have a website and your social media looks like it's outdated and looks like ass. And that's the problem that most people have. They want to do one thing, but the basics of building a good foundational marketing aspect of things, a home base, your LinkedIn should be your home base if you don't have a website. Guess what? When you have LinkedIn, go get a website. Talk about what the hell you do. It doesn't need to be difficult. The point being is if you're taking action, great. You're moving along. You're getting a little bit. This is not going to be built overnight. Okay. What you have to realize is you still got to get on social, because that's where people are going to go first and foremost, not only for raising capital with you, but also bank asset managers. Okay. It's one of the biggest things that you can do is post it, put a logo, put something on there that you actually know what the hell you're doing, posting articles, sharing photos from tapes. If you're my WCN crew, my membership, you're getting tapes sent. We've uploaded multiple tapes in the last few weeks that you could be going out and putting pictures. Hey, here's a picture of a property we're working on, or here's a list of notes that we're evaluating. These are not hard things to do, but failing to do it is planning to fail. Okay. And I have a very short fuse when somebody keeps asking me 12 different questions, different ways, when they're not doing the things that they should be doing. You're worried about C down here. I need you to do A, B, and C. So if you're looking to raise capital, I'm going to talk with IRA investors. Update your socials. Start posting things about what you're doing, past deals you've invested in, deals you're evaluating. Those are simple things to do. Okay? Simple things to do. It's not difficult. Heck, sometimes, I mean, if you're part of our monthly membership at noteumbrella.com, you're getting access to tapes. You're getting access to case studies. Heck, there's a lot of people who even posted postcards in there they've sent out to their database. It is not difficult. But the point being is that raising capital is all about, now, these two investors I talked to in FinCon, guess what? They have a website. They've got experience. They're like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is the river of wealth that we're looking for. This is a river of private money that we know people that have bought property, and then also people that have IRAs and they're investors. It's a simple aspect of talking to these people. And if you talk to enough of them, guess what? You're going to find enough investors to fund your deal or deals. It just takes that outreach. It just takes taking some time. But guess what? Your social media, your LinkedIn is the first place. If you're not going to update that, then don't waste my time. Don't waste your time. Keep going and doing whatever you're doing in the rat race. It's not difficult to do. All right. And posting that you're a note buyer just doesn't make any sense if you're not going to do the rest of the stuff. Because guess what? Other people out there, when they go and search for note buyers, guess what they're going to see? They're going to see people that are posting, people that have a good headshot. They're going to see people that have a banner behind. Oh, this guy looks professional. This girl looks professional. This lady looks professional. This guy, this company. Let's reach out to them first. I'm not trying to be harsh, but it is the truth of where we're at today. If you're not updating your socials and sharing on a regular basis, investors aren't going to invest with you. Yeah, they might be if you're in a warm market and you can go meet with them in person. But if you're halfway across the country, we get people all the time that call me from California and New York. They're like, how do I raise capital here? I'm like, well, you can target IRA investors in other parts of the country. Well, how do I do that? And I just showed them. Well, that's a lot of work. Well, it's going to be a lot of work initially, but these are things that you're going to put in place. You're never going to stop raising capital. You're never going to stop buying. So you might as well put these good habits in place and get rocking and rolling. It's a lot of work to learn how to walk as a young kid, right? It's a whole lot of work how to learn how to crawl. But that didn't stop us from doing it. This is the walking, this is the crawling, this is the running that you're going to continue doing as a real estate investor throughout your life. It just is what it is. And the idea here is to take action. And all these lists are great that we pull in different counties. But if you're not spending the time to do A, B, and C, X, Y, Z is not going to work for you. All right. What it comes down to more than anything else is that reverse engineering this list through the county records and white pages or Spokio.com or LinkedIn searching for people's names. You can do it, but you've got to have that back end credibility. Otherwise, they're not going to, like, I can't find anything on this guy. I can't find anything on this girl. Does not bode well for you in raising capital. Okay. And everybody can raise capital if you'll do the things that I tell you to do. Every one of you can be raising capital, $1 million, $2 million in private capital in the next 90 days. But if you're not going to do the things that we talk about doing, I can't help you. And that falls in line with you being the bottleneck of your business. And we don't want you to be the bottleneck of your business, ladies and gentlemen. It's not difficult. I mean, if you don't have a lot of money, guess what? Pull this list for free. Jump on LinkedIn and search. Doesn't cost you anything for LinkedIn. If you want to use Octopus, great, use Octopus. That will help you out there. Or if you don't have the time, hire a VA to do this. But if you don't have the time, guess what? We just showed you how to find somebody in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes. You only need 6 to 10 people that will say yes to you. All right, that will fund deals for you. And it's all about coming down to the deal. It's called building rapport. Part of building rapport is that online presence, sharing what you know, sharing your experience, sharing your case studies, deals you've done in the past. That builds comfort level. That builds, oh, this person knows exactly what the heck they're doing, or this person doesn't know what the heck they're doing because I have no idea if he or she knows anything. And I don't care how many classes you've taken. Classes are great to take, don't get me wrong. But if you're not taking action and implementing what you've learned in those classes, those conferences, those workshops, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. And we don't want you to waste your time. All right. So do what we teach and take the action. Don't be afraid to stand out from the crowd. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm here. And I'm sharing this on a regular basis. Because remember, 80% of sales comes after the 5th contact, ladies and gentlemen. 5th contact. That 5th contact could be them seeing your LinkedIn post, getting an email from you, seeing your videos. It builds expertise. It builds rapport. People seeing you over time. Now, you don't have to be me. You don't have to have 2,500 videos outline or 915 podcast episodes. You don't need that. Okay? I got a wealth of stuff online. That helps me tremendously. You need to focus on you. And guess what? You have a superpower. You're going to find people that connect with you because you identify with them, or they identify with you because of your age, your race, sex, whatever it is. Be yourself and start sharing what you're working on, sharing deals that you've done in your experience. That's the most valuable thing. I've got a lady out of New Braunfels who's so smart, but she overthinks everything. Okay? Overthinks everything. I'm like, why overthink it? Keep it simple, stupid. Got 1 million+ deals. Share some of the deals you close. That will build more rapport. We don't need more entrepreneurial or deep thoughts by Jack Handy comments and videos. People don't really care about that. They want to see, and the proof is in the pudding. Look at all these videos of people walking through properties or sharing assets. That's what gets the views. That's what gets people to come back to you. And guess what? After they see you 4 or 5, 6 times, guess what? I like this guy, or I like this gal. Let me connect with him. And you'll start building those connections, and it will help you turn your little stream of private money into a raging river if you'll take action and market and follow up. But if you're not going to do the little things on the front end, I can't help you. I don't know what it is. Some people have a mind block on not being able to post, or not want to update. They're afraid to be out there. If you're going to be a real estate investor, guess what? Get the hell out of your shadow. Quit being so just a little scaredy cat and go take action. And that's how, if you want to accomplish big things, guess what? You got to do big things. All right. And I challenge you to get outside your comfort zone. I get it. Oh, I've been quiet. I don't have to do that. Guess what? If you want to do big things and raise capital, and you want to do big deals, guess what? You got to raise capital. That means getting out, networking, and going from there. Yes, local real estate clubs are great, but right now, this time of year, people slow down. It's the end of the year. Like I said, understand the habits that people have, that January, February, March is the time to be really raising a lot of capital and get out networking. But guess what? You have to have them. You have something to send them to. Your pitch deck, your website, your LinkedIn profile. If you don't have that, nothing to send them to, then you're really, starting from scratch. Who wants to recreate the wheel? You don't need to recreate the wheel, ladies and gentlemen. Use the wheels that we talked to you and showed you how to do, and that will get the river flowing for you. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns out there for you guys? Get rock and rolling. We got a very busy week ahead of us. We're really excited about some things. Very, very busy week, especially busy today. We celebrated our 8-year anniversary on Friday. Didn't realize it. 8 years as a podcaster, and pretty excited about that. Couldn't believe it's 8 years flown by. I got a 4-year notice. I'm like, wow, 4-year notice from 4 years ago. It's crazy. 8 years as a podcaster is one of the best things we've done, and I was hesitant about it. Took me about 6 months to get in the idea that we're going to launch a podcast, and it's been great. 8 years, #1 podcast out there for note investors. We're really excited to what the future holds for the podcast. We're not shutting down anytime soon. You keep listening, keep watching. We'll keep cranking out content. Thank you to everybody that's watching, subscribing, listening. Feel free to share this with your friends. But literally, ladies and gentlemen, take the simple road and keep it simple. Go find you a list. Go update your profile with a couple of deals you've done, properties you're looking at, and make your profile look like it's in the 21st century, not from the 20th century. All right? Go take some action, everybody, and we'll see you at the top. Bye.